She trusted her like a sister until her hand began to rot. The first time Linda and Nneka met, they were 7 years old. Linda had fallen into a puddle after chasing her ball too far across the street. Nneka, barefoot and holding a bag of mangoes, had walked up to her, offered her a hand, and said, "Your leg is bleeding, but you're lucky it didn't land on your face. That's your best part." They both burst out laughing. From that day, they were inseparable. They attended the same primary school, sat side by side through all their exams, and even shared the same bed more times than their own parents probably knew. People in the neighborhood called them the two stars. One fair, one dark. One calm. One loud. But both shining in their own way, they made promises under mango trees. They wrote each other letters and kept journals where they planned their future, dream jobs, dream weddings, dream lives. "No matter what, we rise together," Linda once wrote in one of their journals, and for years, it felt true. They got admitted into the same university, studied in different departments, but still ate lunch together and whispered through long boring lectures. They stayed up late helping each other with assignments and gossiping about boys who would never matter. Life was still soft. Sweet, but the seed of difference had already been planted. In school, Linda stood out. She didn't try to. But people noticed her. She was graceful, unintentionally elegant. Even in jeans and slippers, heads turned. Lecturers smiled too long. Boys stuttered when they spoke to her. Nneka noticed. She never said a word about it, but something began to tighten in her chest. It wasn't hate. Not yet. Just a quiet, sour question that kept echoing in her mind. Why not me? Still, their friendship continued. After graduation, they moved back to the city and rented a small apartment together. 2 rooms. 1 kitchen. 1 shared wardrobe, as usual. They started working small jobs while applying for better ones. They cooked together, laughed together, and planned again. But this time, Nneka was watching more than she was laughing. She noticed how men came to their compound and asked for Linda. She noticed how gifts came, handbags, perfumes, invitations. She noticed how Linda said no to good men that Nneka would have given anything for. "He's not my type," Linda would say, and Nneka would smile. But inside, her chest burned. One evening, after Linda had gone out for dinner with yet another admirer, Nneka sat on the couch alone. The TV played a romantic film in the background, but her eyes weren't watching. She was looking at a picture of them taped on the wall. Taken at a beach 2 years ago. Both smiling. Both glowing. But now, Linda glowed brighter. That was when a thought, sharp and wicked, whispered into her heart for the first time. "If she wasn't here, maybe it would be your turn." Nneka shook her head. "God forbid," she muttered, but the thought didn't leave, it just went silent, waiting. It happened quickly, almost too quickly for Nneka to adjust. One week, Linda was just her usual self, bubbly, humble, unbothered. The next, she was going to brunches with a man who drove a white Lexus and wore perfume that smelled like money. His name was Daniel. A calm, quiet entrepreneur who was obsessed with Linda's gentleness. He bought her a new phone within 2 weeks of knowing her, brought groceries every weekend, and never came without flowers. Nneka pretended to like him. "He's nice, I guess," she said casually one night when Linda asked what she thought. "He's more than nice," Linda replied, blushing, and that blush, innocent and glowing, annoyed Nneka more than she wanted to admit. Linda was soft, naturally. The kind of soft life whispered to. Everything worked for her. She didn't force it. She didn't chase. Even at their workplace, the boss smiled at her more, gave her better clients, asked for her opinion like it mattered more. Meanwhile, Nneka had to fight for every piece of attention. She worked twice as hard and got half the recognition. Her inbox stayed dry. Her phone stayed silent. The gap widened. It wasn't just Daniel. There were others. Men who reached out through friends. Men who sent gifts to their gate. A man who even mistakenly flirted with Nneka thinking she was Linda until he saw the real one and lost interest immediately. Nneka smiled through it all. She was a good actress. But when Linda went into her room at night, Nneka's smile always disappeared. She would lie on the bed, stare at the ceiling, and feels something hot bubbling in her throat. At church, the pastor said, "Be happy for others. Your time will come." But what if their time never ends? What if someone else's season was your lifetime? That Sunday, Nneka stopped praying. She started watching closely. The breaking point came on a Thursday. Linda walked into their flat and announced, "Daniel wants to meet my parents." Nneka, who was drinking Gary at the dining table, froze. "Oh. Wow. That's serious," she said. "I think he's the one, Nneka. I'm scared. But excited." Nneka smiled, slowly. "I'm happy for you." And she even hugged her, but inside her chest, something had cracked open. That night, while Linda slept peacefully in the next room,